Okay, get this. The world almost ended, all because a bear decided to climb a fence. All right, let's set the scene. It's 1962. We're right in the thick of the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I mean, this is the closest humanity has ever come to just wiping itself out. The US and the Soviet Union are staring each other down, and literally one wrong move, one tiny mistake, and boom, game over for everyone.
So picture this. It's midnight at a U.S. military base in Duluth. A guard is on duty, and he spots something, a figure climbing the fence. Now remember, everyone is on edge, expecting a Soviet attack at any second. So what does he think? Sabotage. It has to be. So he does exactly what he's trained to do. He opens fire and hits the alarm.
But here's where things go completely off the rails. At a different base, Volkfield, because of a simple, stupid wiring mistake, that sabotage alarm gets translated into something way, way worse. The alarm they hear isn't for a guy on the fence. No, the alarm they hear is, "Scramble nuclear jets." A siren starts screaming and pilots are sprinting to their planes, which, by the way, are loaded up with actual nuclear bombs. And you have to understand, these pilots were told in no uncertain terms, there will be no drills at this level of alert. So in their minds, this is it. This is the real thing. World War III has just started. They're about to take off and start the apocalypse. When out of nowhere, a car comes racing onto the runway, lights flashing, and cuts them off just in the nick of time. So who was the saboteur, the intruder that almost ended the world? It was a bear, a literal bear. Okay, so that was an accidental almost apocalypse. Now let's talk about a very, very deliberate one. We're going to jump way back in time to the 13th century to see how one guy's massive ego got his entire empire completely erased from the map by Genghis Khan.
So you've got the Shah of the Khwarezmian Empire. Let's call this How to Get Your Empire Destroyed 101. Step 1. One of your governors robs a Mongol trade caravan. Not smart. Genghis Khan, being surprisingly reasonable, just sends a few diplomats to sort it out. The Shah's response? He executes one of the envoys and sends his head back to the Khan. And here's the thing you have to know about the Mongols. There's one rule you absolutely do not break. You never harm a messenger. This wasn't just an insult. It was basically spitting in the face of the Khan and begging for war.
Well, he got his war. Genghis Khan's revenge was biblical. I mean, it was swift, it was total, it was absolute. He didn't just conquer the Khwarezmian Empire, he annihilated it. We're talking entire cities just flattened, millions of people killed, a whole civilization just gone, wiped from history because of one terrible, terrible decision. Okay, so sometimes history turns on these big, arrogant decisions, but other times it turns on something really, really small and stupid. Let's talk about the event that kicked off World War I, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. This whole thing wasn't some master plan. It was a comedy of errors that ended in global tragedy. And it all boils down to a wrong turn and, believe it or not, a sandwich. The day was just pure chaos. First, an assassin throws a bomb at the Archduke's car and misses. So the security team decides, okay, let's change the route to be safe. Great idea, right? Except they forget to tell the driver. So the driver takes the originally planned route, makes a wrong turn, and the car stalls. It just dies. And who happens to be standing on that exact corner, having just given up on the whole assassination plot to go get a sandwich? Gavrilo Princip. The car literally stops right in front of him, giving him the easiest shot of his life. And those shots, they started World War I. But hey, not all blunders lead to death and destruction, right? Some accidentally end the Cold War. Let's fast forward to November 9th, 1989 in East Germany. You have this guy, a government spokesperson named Günter Schabowski. He's about to give what is supposed to be a completely forgettable, totally boring press conference. Or so he thought. So right before he goes on, someone hands Schabowski a note about some new, slightly more relaxed travel rules. Key detail, he didn't really have time to read it or get briefed on it. So he's up there droning on when a journalist smells blood in the water and asks a killer question. So, when do these new rules actually take effect? Schabowski is totally caught off guard. You can almost see the panic as he starts shuffling through his papers, just completely lost. He's flustered, he's on the spot, he has no idea what the real answer is. So he just guesses. He mumbles the two words that would accidentally tear down the Berlin Wall. As far as I know, immediately. Effective immediately. Right now. That one word, immediately, was broadcast live across the country. It was like a lightning bolt. Thousands of people in East Berlin just drop what they're doing and rush to the Berlin Wall. The guards there, they're totally confused. They have no new orders. But they saw the press conference too. Faced with these massive, cheering crowds, they just give up and open the gates. And just like that, the wall comes down. The Cold War starts to fall apart. All because a tired bureaucrat misspoke on live TV. So a bear, a sandwich, and a guy who didn't read his notes. It's kind of crazy, right? These tiny, random accidents that completely change the course of human history. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is history just one big, chaotic accident that we try to turn into a neat story later on? How much of the world we live in today is just the result of pure, dumb luck? I want to know what you think. What's the biggest historical oops moment that we missed? Let me know.